The Steam Summer Sale is now in full swing with bargains galore, but I thought I'd have a look at the available real-time strategy games and give you guys a list of what I think are the best buys out there in the sale at the moment. So here goes. Steel Division 2 doesn't care if you're new, it doesn't make things easy, it gives you the entire Eastern Front, tells you to pick a division, and throws you into a war of attrition where every move costs something. There's no tutorials holding your hand, you learn by losing and then by surviving. Once that clicks, it's one of the most rewarding RTS experiences you'll get. The scale is massive, you're commanding hundreds of units, infantry, tanks, artillery, airstrikes, across huge living battlefields. This isn't about micro, it's about positioning, line of sight, supply chains, and knowing exactly when to push or pull back. If your troops are tired, if your armors are unsupported, if you send recon too late, you'll feel it. Battles unfold in phases. What you can deploy changes as the match progresses. Like recon and infantry early on, heavy tanks and bombers in the final stage. You build a deck before battle, selecting units for each phase. That's half the strategy, picking the right tools before the fight even begins. There's a full campaign layer too. Army General Mode lets you plan invasions across the map, turn by turn, with real-time battles deciding the outcome. It's slow, deliberate and brutal. You can outmaneuver an enemy for half an hour and still lose because you misread terrain or committed too late. The game doesn't reward recklessness. You'll lose squads to a single ambush if you're careless. The UI is minimal but functional. Once you understand the icons and vision cones, you stop looking at the interface and start looking at the battlefield. In the summer sale, Steel Division 2 is going for a fraction of its usual price. The base game includes tons of content, and there's more if you want to expand. It's not streamlined, it's not welcoming, but it's one of the best large-scale RTS games you can buy. If you're ready to be punished into getting better, this one earns its place. Tempest Rising is the modern RTS that finally stops trying to reinvent everything. It doesn't sidestep base building or strip away economy management, it puts them front and centre. You build harvesters, you power your base. You crank out units as fast as you can manage your income. If that sounds like Command & Conquer, that's the point. It's deliberate, and it works. Matches are fast, infantry moves quickly, tanks hit hard, and the pacing keeps pressure high. The fog of war stays dark until you scout it. There's no hand-holding, no automated alerts telling you where to look. You either respond fast or you get rolled. Even a moment of hesitation can snowball. There's no tech bloat or 10-tier build queues. You get a small set of tools and you're expected to use them efficiently. Power is limited, placement counts. Defend your base wrong and you'll lose your economy in one strike. Try to turtle and you'll be picked apart. You're pushed to stay active, keep expanding, keep attacking. There are two factions in the game right now with different units and styles. The GDF leans towards traditional Western military hardware, tanks, helicopters and engineers. The Dynasty is weirder. Their infantry blends with vehicles and they rely more on energy than brute force. The asymmetry affects how you think and what you prioritise. It's not just cosmetic. Tempest Rising now includes two full single-player campaigns, one for each faction. They're structured like the old-school classics, linear missions, scripted events, unit unlocks and steady escalation. You're not just skirmishing against bots, there's narrative, structure and enough mission variety to get a real feel for how each side plays. The AI isn't amazing, but it will punish bad positioning and punish it fast. In the Steam Summer Sale, Tempest Rising is one of the best new RTS titles you can pick up for the price. If you miss the speed and rhythm of older games but still want something that looks and feels current, this is the one to try. Homeworld is slow, strange and beautiful. It doesn't care what you're used to, there's no mini-map or traditional base building, no clear front line. Just space, three-dimensional movement, silence, and a sense of scale that most RTS games never even try to reach. The Remastered collection brings both the original and its sequel into sharper focus, keeping the tone intact whilst modernising the controls, resolution and interface. You're not churning out units just to throw at an enemy base, you're guiding a fleet across a hostile galaxy. Each mission starts where the last one left off. Ships that survive come with you, ships that die stay dead. You'll harvest resources, research tech and build new ships, but it's never about raw production, it's about preservation. Every frigate counts, every carrier lost is a blow you'll feel 3 missions later. Combat feels deliberate. There's a quiet tension as you set up your formations, position units on the Z-axis and hope they're not walking into an ambush. Fighters are fast and fragile. Capital ships are slow, powerful and vulnerable if not supported. You're not just managing what shoots what, you're managing how, when and from where. The campaign tells a story that's melancholy and distant. It's not full of cutscenes or character dialogue, it's told through static images, sparse narration, and one of the best soundtracks in any RTS. The tone sticks with you: loneliness, duty, survival. It's not cinematic in the usual sense, but it leaves an impression. In this remastered version, the original Homeworld and Homeworld 2 both get updated visuals and tweaked balancing. The core mechanics are unchanged. If anything, they're easy to appreciate now. You can zoom in close or pull all the way back, and the UI stays out of your way. It's not perfect, but it respects the original work without turning it into something else. In the sale, this collection is heavily discounted. You're getting 2 full campaigns, mod support, and a style of RTS that hasn't really been replicated. Homeworld isn't for everyone, but if you want something that rewards patience and gives you space to think, this is still one of the best games you can buy. Company of Heroes narrowed the focus of real-time strategy and made every decision feel immediate. You're not juggling economy and tech trees, you're commanding squads of infantry, tanks and artillery across tight urban maps where cover, flanking and position change everything. It's still one of the best representations of small unit tactics in any RTS, and it hasn't lost its edge. The campaign dropped you into the Normandy invasion, pushing forward through France as the Allies. Missions are built to feel like historical snapshots, not sandbox skirmishes, but planned, scripted battles with objectives that evolve mid-match. One mission might have you capturing a town under heavy fire, the next might be a desperate defence against a German counterattack. It's fast-paced but not chaotic. You're always reacting, repositioning and adjusting under pressure. Where most RTS games are about who clicks faster, Company of Heroes leans into tactical awareness. You need to use terrain, break enemy lines, retreat at the right time and support your troops with engineers, mortars and vehicles. Infantry and cover can hold back tanks if used right. Throw them into the open and they'll be wiped out in seconds. It forces you to read the map constantly and respond with intent. The destructible environments still stand out. Buildings collapse, walls break, craters form. The battlefield shifts as you fight on. That's not just visual noise, it affects line of sight, movement and cover. What you do in the first 5 minutes can shape how the map plays in the final push. The complete pack version includes the original game, the Opposing Fronts expansion and Tales of Valor. That's multiple campaigns, full skirmish and multiplayer support and some of the best map design the genre's ever had. It runs well on modern systems and it still feels sharp. The full Company of Heroes package is usually one of the cheapest things worth buying. You get a tight, well-balanced RTS that plays just as well solo as it does online. If you like strategy with real weight, this is one of the few games that still delivers. Command & Conquer didn't invent real-time strategy, but it defined what it felt like to play one. Fast, aggressive, unforgiving if you hesitated. The Remastered collection brings back both Tiberian Dawn and Red Alert, rebuilt with modern resolution support, smoother controls and a full refresh of the legendary soundtrack. It's the same games, just cleaned up. No redesign or extra systems. What worked in the 90s still works now. You start with a construction yard, drop a power plant, build a refinery, and from there it's all about momentum. Harvest resources, build fast, hit hard, defend only what you have to. The interface is old school but responsive, and you can flip between the original visuals and remastered ones instantly. That's not just for nostalgia, it's a good way to see just how far the upgrade goes. Both games bring different tones. Tiberian Dawn leads into Cold War sci-fi with GDI and Nod fighting a global war over Tiberium. Red Alert is louder and stranger, with Tesla coils, chronospheres and alternate history chaos. Both have strong single-player campaigns with live-action cutscenes that swing between serious and completely ridiculous. They've been cleaned up as much as possible and they're still fun to watch. Gameplay is about as direct as it gets. No hero units or tactical pause, just map control, power management and timing. You'll lose matches because you didn't scout, because you built the wrong unit at the wrong time, or because you pushed too early. And that's the appeal. It doesn't give you space to coast. If you're passive, you lose. Multiplayer is included and active, with ranked quick match, custom lobbies and full mod support. Skirmish AI has its limits, but it's still a good way to learn maps and mess around with different builds. The mission editors and Steam Workshop integration give you even more to mess with once you've finished the main campaigns. In the Steam Summer Sale, the entire collection is cheaper than a meal. For that you get 2 full campaigns, all the expansions, modernised tools and dozens of hours of tightly paced RTS. If you've never played Command & Conquer, this is the easiest way in. If you have, you already know it holds up. That's the list. You'll find links to all the games in the description. Missed one? Say so in the comments, and I'll see you next time.